I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the peace that passeth understanding down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the peace that passeth understanding down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the wonderful love of divine Redeemer down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the wonderful love of divine Creator down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the peace that passeth understanding down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the peace that passeth understanding down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the wonderful love of divine Creator down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the wonderful love of divine Creator down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the joy down in my heart. Oh, down in my heart. I've got the joy down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the peace down in my heart, down in my heart. Oh, down in my heart. I've got the peace down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the wonderful love of divine Redeemer down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the wonderful love of divine Creator down in my heart to stay. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the peace that passeth understanding down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the peace that passeth understanding down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. Got the peace down in my heart, down in my heart. Oh, down in my heart. I've got the peace down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart. Oh, down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart to stay.
Good morning. In our hearts. Awesome. Thank you, Angela, and thank you, Auntie Lilith, for that wonderful welcome. Indeed, this is the day the Lord has made, and I rejoice and I'm glad to live in it. Friends, let us begin, as all things do here at the center, with our opening affirmative prayer. Please join me in consciousness, and welcome to those of you joining in on our love stream. Recognizing that there's only one presence, one power, one infinite intelligence. That presence is God, And it is that which brought us into being. It is that which conducts this morning's celebration. It is that is operating through each and every one of us. And so we give thanks for this coming together this morning, for this shared experience. And I am knowing that every word that is spoken from this podium this morning goes out to touch, to heal, to bless, and to prosper. So I know that we all listen attentively and we tune in to the words that are spoken. I know for our speaker this morning, Reverend SonIa, that truly she's inspired and she's filled, and she delivers to us a message that truly uplifts each one of us. And so we know that everything that proceeds in this morning's activity does so in right and perfect order. I give thanks for this coming together, and I release this word to law, knowing that all this is already so, and so it is. And this morning, our inspirational reading comes to us from the Science of Mind magazine, and it's actually our August edition, in which there were a series of articles. All of these were written at some point earlier on, and they put them together. And I've chosen for this morning's reading one that is entitled, "We Are All on a Hero's Journey." Heroes take journeys, confront dragons, and discover the treasure of their true selves. That's from Carol Pearson. And from Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind, page 499, it says, "We make our own mistakes, suffer from our own foolishness, and we must also make our own return journey into righteousness." So here we are. We are all on a series of heroes' journeys. Life itself is a single hero's journey, and within that overarching journey are many smaller ones. The idea of the hero's journey refers to a time of transition for the person, a series of steps that includes challenges that have the purpose of ultimately revealing some inner truth. Some examples include the new soldier who discovers his courage, the scholar, her wisdom, the husband, his capacity for intimacy, and the mother, her capacity for love. Each of us is called to greater expression many times during a lifetime. If we refuse the call, we stagnate. If we answer the call, we go on an adventure. The ultimate goal is self-discovery, finding some capacity we had not expressed before. The task then is to bring this discovery into our life, to return newly empowered and enabled in a positive way. When we recognize the dynamic of the hero's journey, we learn to face up to what life brings to us. We find our courage and, like in Oz, our wisdom and love. Our lives are enriched and the world around us is better for our new discoveries. And this was written by Reverend Dr. Jim Lockhart and was published in December 2014 edition of the Science of Mind magazine. And the affirmation says, "I am a hero. I face life with courage and a great expectation of good. I follow my own path, and I am open to the full range of self-discovery." And I'd like us to just repeat the first part of the affirmation. I'll read it again. "I am a hero. I face life with courage and a great expectation of good." Together. I am a hero. I face life with courage and a great expectation of good. And so it is. Yes. Now, please join me in the singing of our praise song. It's on page 2 for those of you in the sanctuary and on screen for those of you watching at home.
is for you and life is for me. Life is for living love. Life is for loving. Whatever you will love enough is yours. Life is for sharing. Whatever you will share with others grows. Life is for being, for loving, sharing, being, learning how. Life is for you and life is for me. Life is for living love.
Thank you, friends. And I'd just like to ask you to remain standing for our prayer of our center. Together, and those of you at home, please stand and join us. Together, the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community, from which the Christ peace, love, and joy emanate, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and the glory forever. And so it is. Thank you. Please be seated. And now it is my pleasure to light the candle for all the youth of the world. And now let us do the blessing. We love you, we appreciate you, we salute the Christ in you. We see you as shining lights unto your world. God is blessing you now, and so it is. And now we'll sing our Temple of Light mission song. The Temple of Light, the Temple of Light, the Temple of Light. We are a people with a vision, one in spirit, on a mission, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us. Anytime, night or day. The Temple of Light, the Temple of Light, the Temple of Light. We are a people with a vision, one in spirit, on a mission, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. And we know Reverend John Scott is in the house. And now, friends, please join me for this morning's announcements. Do we have any first-time guests worshiping with us this very special morning? Whether you're in the sanctuary or online, welcome, welcome to our hearts and to our beautiful Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living. We trust you will come again and again to share your consciousness with us. Friends, we continue to live stream every Sunday at 9 a.m. here at the temple and on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. The recording is also available later on YouTube. The schedule of our temple activities is posted online on the Temple of Light Facebook page. Now this morning we have our usual discovery session. Please join Reverends Michael Record and John Scott at 10:30 this morning in our sanctuary and on Facebook Live for discovery. Our topic will be the heroes who have impacted our lives. Friends, have you tuned in on a Monday morning yet to Quiet Moments in the Garden? Well, this is an opportune time for you to do so. Please join Reverend John Scott tomorrow morning, Monday morning at 6 a.m. and every Monday morning for a refreshing and insightful early morning pickup for the beginning of the week, and we call it Quiet Moments in the Garden. Now, classes. Classes is very integral to the center, and we have quite a few that's going on right now of which you can avail yourselves. So here goes. On Tuesdays from 7 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom, Reverend Michael Record facilitates an accredited class, Shortcut to a Miracle, based on the book by Elizabeth Arrott. And then on Thursday morning, in-person class, Reverend John Scott has Ignite Your Life with Bible Wisdom, and this is a continuing class. It's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And also on Thursdays from 7 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Reverends Ann Shand and SonIa Davidson co-facilitates an interesting class on Zoom titled The Lazarus Blueprint. Friends, we even have another session that you can participate in, and it's called Training for Trainers. And what is this? It's a 10-week in-person learning experience which began just yesterday, and it continues this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the temple. Topics include activating the spiritual power of imagination, the power of stories, and adding color to your presentation. The presenter is Reverend John Scott, and he advises that this is the last week for registration, so you're not too late. If you miss this session, you can still get in on this class, and he will accept registrations. So to register for all classes, and to obtain the Zoom link, please visit classes.templeoflightcsl.org. Again, classes.templeoflightcsl.org. And the contribution per class is $1,200 for registered members and $1,600 for persons, for interested persons, and that's in Jamaican dollars. You're welcome to join us on our Zoom link for persons from overseas. Please visit again, classes.templeoflightcsl.org. Friends, if you wish to attend Sunday services in person, please remember that you need to collect a pass from the office Mondays to Fridays before 3 p.m. As you know, Sundays is a no movement day. And now this brings me to another interesting activity that is planned. Can anybody tell me what's our EDC luncheon? Anybody in the sanctuary? Well, for those of you online and those in the sanctuary, we will be having our Everyday a Christmas luncheon again this year. And I'm asking you to save the date. It will be on December 3rd, and we will give you more information on menu options and ways to order in the coming weeks. We look forward to your continued support as you did last year. So please look out for us. Remember, save the date, December 3rd, for our Everyday a Christmas luncheon put on by the organization Quadrant here at the temple. And now, if you feel moved to support our ministry, kindly visit our donate page at donate.templeoflightcsl.org, which has our banking details. We thank you for your generosity and for helping us to be a beacon of light in the world. That donate page again, donate.templeoflightcsl.org. And prayer support. We continue to respond with prayer to the challenges of this special time. A practitioner is available to pray with you immediately following our services every Sunday. On duty this Sunday is practitioner Vance Gardner, and the number to call is 876-289-0907. And you may also speak with a minister from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 12 midnight by calling the same number. The number again, 876-289-0907. This concludes our announcements, and please join us in the singing of our first hymn, O Faith That Lights the Soul of Man. Words are in your program, and if you are in the sanctuary and on screen. Thank you, friends. Please be seated. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker this morning. She's one of our staff ministers, and she brings to the podium the energy and the excitement in every talk that she delivers. In fact, we lovingly call her Bubbly. Please help me welcome to the podium this morning, Rev SonIa Davidson, to deliver this morning's encouragement. Rev SonIa.
And thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you, Jennifer, for just setting the stage for this service. It hasn't it been just wonderful? And the reading, oh my gosh, so inspired and exactly what we're about this morning. Because, and let me not forget those who are online. Those who are in the sanctuary, I'm so happy to see you. We are here in our numbers as according to COVID regulations, no more. But we are also grateful to those who are online. And we welcome you to our hearts and to our center as well. Oops. Okay. Now my talk. Everyday heroes living life on purpose. The month of October is significant for us in Jamaica for many reasons. Some know it's a rainy season, some know it's, hurricane season is almost over. But the most obvious on a national level is that it is the month we celebrate Heroes Day and honor those who are considered contributing to the national good. While we have elevated a few people to the stature of national heroes, and numerous others have been acknowledged since then for contributing to the nation, I cannot help but remember all the millions of unsung heroes and heroines among us. A verse from this poem titled Elegy, written in a country churchyard by Thomas Gray, stands out for me. Those of you who are of my seniority will remember that we were compelled to learn it by heart. I remember only 2 lines, but they are the ones I am contributing this morning. But recently, I read it with a different mindset from the parroting that we did when I was a child. And I have understood it in a different way. It goes like this, the lines that I have chosen. Full many a gem of purest ray serene, the dark, unfathomed caves of ocean bear. Full many a flower is born to blush unseen and waste its sweetness on the desert air. Read it if you wish, and you can. It is a very dark poem, which has, however, stood the test of time, perhaps because it reflects how some people may think of their lives in the twilight of their years, as they witness so many people dying apparently unappreciated, and wondering if they too, despite their best efforts, will be remembered in the same way or not at all. Friends, I guess the human part of us, somewhere along the journey of life, may wonder if what we're doing is appreciated, if the effort makes sense. We may even feel discouraged at points, as obviously Mr. Gray of Gray's Elegy in a country churchyard felt. Perhaps Mr. Gray was writing this poem at a time not unlike what the world is going through now, when so many people we know are dying, transitioning, whatever you prefer, and it was really getting to him. What can I say? People have to feel what they need to feel and express how they feel sincerely. But listen to another person's perspective on life and death. All men should strive before they die to discover what they are running from and to and why, said James Thunder. You see, friends, it is now, while there is breath in us, that we must know our purpose for living and live from what we know of it. When we do, there will be less temptation to be concerned about what people think of what we are doing with our lives, or about how we will be remembered when we have parted company with this plane of existence. Life is a gift, and I do not intend to waste a moment of it in anything other than self-discovery. For this process of discovery never ends. Jesus the Master said of his passionate and successful healing ministry, "Not I, but the Father in me does the work." And from the Science of Mind textbook, page 419, I draw these words of inspiration. All the mystics have recognized the absolute unity of God and man, Within the infinite mind, each individual exists not as separated, but as a separate and distinct entity. We are a point of universal consciousness, which is God. We are not separated from life, neither is it separated from us, but we are separate entities in it, individualized centers of God consciousness, unquote. The goal of self-discovery is the complete acceptance of this idea, for on it rests our fulfillment of our true purpose of being. Donald Curtis, Dr. Donald Curtis, Reverend Donald Curtis, a New Thought luminary, teacher, and writer, says it this way: there is nothing that can deter the person who knows who he is or where he is going, unquote. Each of us will come to discover that the ultimate purpose of life is to live out that unique pattern or design of being which we are created to be. As we will discover ourselves being able to make the greatest contribution to the greatest number of persons just by being ourselves. I like what Deepak Chopra said about his purpose in life. He said, "To heal, it is to heal and make everyone who I come in contact with happier than when I met them." You see, it is not about what people feel about him per se, but about the effect his presence and actions are having on them. A light does not concern itself about people's opinion about it. It merely does what it is its nature to be. A light allowing people to see the way. Here is a prayer which students have used to prepare for classes that Reverend Ann and I have taught for many years. It goes like this: Infinite Spirit, open my eyes that I may see, my ears that I may hear, my heart that I may love. Teach me all that is necessary for my spiritual growth. Show me what I may bring to this class today. It's impossible for me to recite these words without something shifting in me. I'm feeling it. If you would like, you may use it. In fact, I invite you to make this an assignment for this week. Allah. Who? Reverend John. You could change the words "this class" to "this life." So it would go, show me what I may bring to this life today. These have been the last words I see as I leave my bedroom, because I've posted it on the wall near the doorway. I rely on such ideas to keep me on purpose. Remember, we are individualized centers of consciousness within the infinite mind, which is God. Just taking that for a moment. Individualized centers of consciousness within the infinite mind, which is God. Everyone, every single soul has a unique, specific purpose in life, as unique as his or her fingerprints, living from that individualized center within the mind of God. Yes, we are each born to be everyday heroes. Just think of all the spontaneous acts of kindness, each compassionate word of consolation, each humane gesture to a stranger passing by, each smile bestowed on a hooting taxi driver who cut in front of your car, each time you stopped on a highway to help someone who appears to be in trouble, and on and on and on. I am sure if we take time to pause each one of us remember these casual acts. They are the evidence that the hero lies in each one of us. We cannot help but be ourselves. It is our nature. These spontaneous acts of kindness may seem insignificant to us, but it is through them that we reveal our divine nature. If I am a divine expression in the mind of God, what is my purpose in being here? What is God's intention for me, some may ask? To this question, Dr. Ernest Holmes replies, and I speak through the Science of Mind textbook, he replies, the only intention God could have if man is an individual would be to let the individual alone to discover himself, or herself obviously. In this discovery of self, man, woman, impresses the law, which is sensitive, creative, and can only deduce, meaning it just have to accept what we say. So it impresses the law with the images of his own belief about himself. And the law creates a form around these images. The law knows about us only what we know about ourselves. So if we know and know it over and over till we embody it, it is a part of the way we think naturally and spontaneously, that we are individualized centers within the mind of God. Then the law begins to act and to demonstrate in our lives according to that belief. So friends, every moment that we live is a gift. Every moment is an opportunity. We are each born on purpose for a purpose. So we are intended to be to do our part in ensuring that this body, which Universal Spirit has entrusted to our care for the purpose of this lifetime, we are intended to ensure that it is well taken care of, and the mind, which is our immortal gift, is guarded and expanded intentionally. Too few of us ever stand still long enough to contemplate the purpose of life. So many of us rarely give the idea a second thought. Do you know that living on purpose, knowing that your life has purpose, is essential to health, to longevity, and the continuation of this incarnation at this time? So many people who have never been aware of the true purpose of living will themselves to death or lose the will to live. Our bodies are fueled by the energy of purpose. To live, we must feel that we have reason to live. This is purpose. To know that we have reason to live is purpose. We are free to choose how we see our purpose. If we limit our purpose only to the things that we have already done well, the things that we do or the things that we intend to do, we limit ourselves because we may fail to do them or to be acknowledged for doing them. Therefore, when this happens, we are at risk of becoming disillusioned with life or become so complacent that we become bored. There is nothing wrong with a gentle restlessness of mind, which says there's more to life than we are aware currently, or that we are currently experiencing. In fact, it is most appropriate that from time to time we feel this little nudge, which is aptly called divine discontent. I'm not sure who named it. I'm not sure if I would have named it that, but in some ways it's a good name. The supreme purpose of life is to grow, to evolve, to give access to the divine infinite potential within us that is eagerly forging its way into expression through us. Yes, each of us has a hero within, impatient to express. For most of us, the answer, what is my true purpose in life, comes by way of an unfolding process. For a select few, it is a dramatic revelation. For an even smaller number, the answer to that question seems to have been born with them at birth. Everyone comes to the revelation of their true purpose from a different angle. Life's purpose is indeed to discover and live out that unique divine design for being, which we each are. And Donald Curtis, New Thought author, says there is nothing that can deter a person who knows who he or she is or where he or she is going. So you may ask, what is the purpose of thinking about my purpose? I am busy. I am busy making a living. I volunteer in the community. I volunteer at church. My children keep me occupied. My husband is a handful. What more purpose could I serve? I love this statement from Richard Living, a daily reading by Dr. Ernest Holmes and Dr. Raymond Charles Barker. He who rules his spirit has won a greater victory than the taking of a city. Hey, can you imagine that? Yes. We cling so tightly to the plans and goals chosen or that's thrust upon us by our own beliefs that often we neglect our spiritual well-being. We don't leave time for self-discovery. Yes, each of us has the potential to be everyday heroes if we allow it. Living life on purpose for a purpose is a role that only we can fulfill for ourselves. In the process of living out, we set numerous goals and achieve many. Some of them give us a sense of accomplishment and pleasure, but after a while, what's next? And when the boredom sets in, divine discontent is Spirit's way of nudging us forward towards our true purpose in life. The poise and security which is experienced by those who have identified their life's purpose permits them to move freely and confidently through every threatening or potentially distracting event. St. Paul, in his letter to the Corinthians, proclaimed, and we know it's familiar to all of us, and I love it, God is able to make all grace abound towards you, and ye, always having all sufficiency in all things, may abound in every good work. In other words, anything you set your mind to, God is there, the infinite is there to make it happen. God is able to make all grace abound towards you, and ye, always having all sufficiency in all things, may abound in every good work. You have to think it first. So many of us spend a great part of our lives chasing goals without stopping to ask ourselves, is this in keeping with my purpose in life? Or am I reacting to fear implanted by my acceptance of what the group has led me to believe if I don't? All people dream dreams. Most have desires to advance in life. Far less have a vision of their purpose. Purpose is the underlying upthrust which supports the ship of life, so to speak. Purpose takes its energy and drive its fuel from the realm of possibilities. The infinite mind which underpins all, the kingdom of God which Jesus the Master tells us, is neither here nor there. It is at hand. It is within man. Elsewhere he says, yes, it is at hand. But I like the verse which says it is within man. Look it up. The journey towards deliberate self-discovery is within our everyday spiritual practices, all of which turn our attention inward. Meditation, basking in the silence, listening for the small, still voice as we seek its advice, affirmative prayer, contemplating the divine nature and its relationship to all things and all people, including ourselves, recording our insights in words. There is no limit to all the ways that we can advance our spiritual practice. Just do it. Do it. And of course, coming to classes where we turn over ideas, where we share, where we open ourselves to be a channel through which wisdom flows, wisdom which we were not even aware was in our minds. All of these are spiritual practices. So when we dedicate ourselves to an idea which inspires us, our entire life takes on the energy of that idea. So be inspired by knowing that truly we are indeed centers of divine mind within the mind of God. So when, this is so important, because when we neglect the inner work towards self-discovery, we are unable to choose the goals which are compatible with our true process. So instead, we feel the pressure of the good deeds which we have imposed upon ourselves. We feel burdened. We feel tired, because it is not what we really, really, really want or should be doing. On the other hand, when we hold fast to our purpose, everything falls into place. We pack sensibly, so to speak. We begin to have desires which correspond to that which fulfills it, and spontaneously discard these desires, beliefs, emotions, aims, and experiences which do not fit into our life's purpose. I have a short, simple story to share which demonstrates that even when we have developed some proficiency in our use of the principles of our teaching, the science of mind, we may not always use it as our first line of defense. However, a firmly rooted decision to live from our purpose will be the ballast by which we keep an even keel in life, in the oceans of life. It is my story, but it could be anyone's story. I almost argued myself out of what was to be the most enjoyable and satisfying visit I have ever made to another country. As a relatively new minister, I had flirted with the idea of going to a ministers' conference in the USA, but had not focused my attention on it until much nearer to the date of the event. When I was faced with the reality that I was going, my mind became flooded with a chain of fleeting, limiting thoughts, which in retrospect would have hindered me. I thought this couldn't have come at a worse time. I have several payments that are due in March. When I don't work, I don't get paid. Who will take care of my patients when I'm away? Who is going to handle my personal affairs? Where is all that money going to come from so fast? See that? I decided then and there that any decision I would take in life would be on the basis of preference and not limitation. So I immediately reminded myself of my purpose to grow spiritually through ministry, and went into treatment for right action and clarity. The answer came in the form of a smoldering desire, which grew into a definite intention. Then a certainty, followed almost immediately by a chain of spontaneous reactions, events, and arrangements. As my enthusiasm grew, events, arrangements, money, everything fell into place with precision. The trip was perfect from beginning to end. In the meeting, there were many senior ministers with books with whom we have now become familiar. Several of them have transitioned by now. I realized that I had been in bondage to my habitual lifestyle. The same law which allowed me to think myself into bondage is the law which freed me of my own bidding. When we live out our lives in the context of our purpose, we trim the baggage from our lives, we begin to travel lighter and more streamlined and make less detours because we know where the highway leads us. We move full stream ahead. So, according to Iyanla Van Zandt, a popular author and motivational speaker, the one who is traveling on purpose packs light, which makes the journey easy. So when we are traveling on purpose, we pack truth, courage, and faith, unquote. So friends, I have no doubt that most of you who are listening to me are in fact living out your purpose. You are indeed everyday heroes. But by making a promise to stay firmly on the path of our purpose, the journey becomes more delightful. This is the nature of the divine life, which is the hero that lies within. So, friends, let us agree together to take some time to rediscover ourselves as we go within to speak to that quiet place, going into that quiet place and speak from the silence. Sometimes we hear that silence thundering at us. Sometimes it is just a deep reassurance. So, friends, everyone who sets out on purpose to grow through self-discovery and by a determination to live on purpose for the supreme purpose has set out on the hero's journey, who has set out on this hero's journey, has joined the ranks of everyday heroes and even the ones who we recall who have been named as our national heroes, the mystic of the ages. We have that in common, that we are living on purpose as they did. So purpose is what gets us out of bed each day. It is what carries us forward when things seem less than ideal. With purpose comes clarity, diligence, dedication, commitment, steadfastness, tenacity, enthusiasm, vitality. Through all of this, we feel centered, anchored, and secure. Purpose, I say, puts fire in the belly, food on the table, peace in the soul, and joy in the heart. So let us use that energy, that passion, that purpose, that heroism to do this blessing that I'm going to read. And I ask you, as often as you can, remember that heroes are the light that shines and joins the flame that is blazing to move humanity forward into that great new age. And I read the blessing. I think a kind thought for all the world. I declare here and now that all the world is happy and blessed. So I'm going to break it down, and I want you to join me and say it from your heart. I think a kind thought for all the world. I think a kind thought for all the world. I declare here and now, I declare here and now that all the world is happy and blessed. That all the world is happy and blessed. I salute the hero in you. I salute the hero in you. Please make eye contact with somebody and say, I salute the hero in you. You are indeed living on purpose for a purpose. Namaste.
Wow, thank you, Reverend Sonia. Thank you so much. Yes, friends, she has encouraged us not to waste any time here on earth. The goal is one of self-discovery. And we are individualized centers of consciousness within the infinite intelligence which is God. What the Lord knows about us is only what we know about ourselves. And knowing your life has purpose fuels the energy to live our divine design for being. My friends, commit to enhance your spiritual practices and know that we are each born to be everyday heroes. Thank
Wow.
you.
Thank you, Jennifer. You have captured it.
Okay. And now, after that fulfilling talk this morning, I'd like to introduce our musical item for today, a very special treat. We have Alicia Forbes visiting with us. Welcome, Alicia.
No, because I asked them to wait. I have to adjust the mic.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here. Just wanted to extend a quick little apology. I was to be joined this morning by my friend and colleague Kelvin Blair, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I stand alone this morning, but it's my hope that I'll be able to communicate the simple but potent message of this song just the same. I can change the world with my own two hands, make it a brighter place. With my own two hands, make it a better place. With my own two hands, with my own two hands, that I can bring peace on earth. With my own two hands, and I can clean up the earth. With my own two hands, and I can reach out to you. With my own two hands, with my own two hands. Oh, with my own two hands, I'm gonna make it a kinder place. With my own two hands, I'm gonna make it a safer place. With my own two hands, I'm gonna help the human race. With my own two hands, with my own two hands. With my own two hands. Well, I can hold on to you. With my own two hands, and I can comfort
much, Alicia. You are indeed living out your purpose with that beautiful heart, that lovely voice. May all the joys that comes to one who lives on purpose come to you, pressed down, multiplied, and running over. Thank you for your diligence and for always showing up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, wow. So, yes, that touched my heart. That touched my heart, indeed, for many reasons. Okay, so our prayer of Jamaica, we're going to stand up for it, okay? Please. Okay. Prayer of Jamaica. The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established. And so it is. Oh, after that powerful reading and saying of our prayer for Jamaica, we now go on to our hymn, In a Twinkling of an Eye. Ooh, it so embodies what we know about how we want to be for Jamaica and ourselves.
In the twinkling of an eye, you can change the world you live in. Your world responds to your command at the moment it is given. In the twinkling of an eye, a new thought can change your day. Just make your selection and change your direction. It's all in the way you pray. In a moment, God replies to the prayer you now are using. The miracles of life depend on the thoughts of your own choosing. In a moment, God responds to a perfect faith in prayer. There's instant reaction, spontaneous action. Believe it and know it's there. In the twinkling of an eye, you can change the world around you. Your thoughts become the world you seek, and the loved ones that surround you. In the twinkling of an eye, you respond to how you pray. For God's love enfolds you, sustains and upholds you, right now on a bright new day.
Yes, I remember our wonderful Howard Daly, who introduced that to us every time we sing this, and Reverend Elmer, who loved this so much. And I too love it. I'm sure you do, because I hear how you sang it, as if you really, really cared. So now, friends, we are going to bless our love offering. And we know that this blessing is online. And as we bless it, we know here and online that the infinite responds to us as we pray. So our blessing, lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase, and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. So be it. Thank you, Father, and so it is. Thank you for all the blessings that you are sending to us over and over, and you will send to us by way of your gifts. And if you want to know how to give to us by way of money, you can go onto our webpage and our Facebook page, and you'll get all of the details. But don't forget, you can always come with your envelope and leave it at the office. We will take it however we get it. Thank you. And so we just give a special blessing now to all those who have allowed themselves to be open to give from the infinite storehouse of God. We know that as this giving consciousness streams through each and every one of us, that there is a feeling of exhilaration as we connect with the infinite nature of God. So we know that all the blessings that accompany our giving is now multiplied in our lives in every way that is required ahead of even our knowing it. So we prosper, we succeed, and most of all, we live our lives joyfully, in purpose, on purpose, to express God. I give thanks that it is so, and so it is. And as we go now, we bless all those of us who have been here this morning, in person or online. We know the infinite power and presence that brought us here is that which lives its life out wherever we are, so that our lives become brilliant, shining lights to bless our world. I give thanks for our presence. I give thanks for our knowing, for our consciousness. I give thanks for this church that continues to be a focal point of the energy of light. I give thanks for our teaching and for all those persons who serve it in any way. Thank you, God, that it is so. And so it is. And now, yes, there is life.
Life, peace,
Light.
love, life,
Who wins, light or love?
life.
Light.
Light.
Yes.
There is light on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is light on earth, the light that was meant to be.
time, same place for a Sunday service. Tomorrow morning, Reverend John in the garden. And remember all of the rich offerings of our classes that our church has to offer. Come, enjoy, participate, and be blessed, and bring a blessing. Namaste.
To teach my